Hey, next week we need to get married to give us a countdown.
Yo. So what's up?
What's up, man?
What up? We back 8:00.
8:12.
8:12. Fired up live. We're back in the saddle. Had a technical difficulty. Look, gotta love technology. It is sometimes it give you you can't depend on technology.
No.
We, as a generation, we have really depended on technology, and sometimes it fails us, and we go crazy when the internet drops out, or you ain't got no lights, or something happened and you can't catch a streaming channel,
or you're somewhere and you don't know the Wi-Fi password.
Yeah. Man. You have to creep without a paddle.
Listen, and then don't let your kids not have any Wi-Fi. That's right. That's what I started doing as a parent, right? So if my kids act up, I change that password on them, change that Wi-Fi password. And I'm like, well, until you start behaving, you ain't getting a new one.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how quick their attitude changes, just like that.
Right. So
at our age, this technology is getting out of hand. Like
it is, ain't it?
I can't keep up with the Joneses. I have a hard time keeping up.
I can't keep up with the Joneses.
No, me either. Every time I turn around, I got to download a new app, and I don't even know what it does. I have an app for my apps, just so I know what app I have to use.
So for all my parents that's watching, if you want to use a good discipline tool for your kiddos, is change the Wi-Fi password.
Yeah. That'll get them. That'll get them right up.
Right. That'll get. What's up, man?
Nothing, man.
Fired up always.
I'm fired up. I'm sore, but fired up.
Okay, what you got going on?
I told you I started working out this week. Just a little life changing, you know what I mean? A little self-care, self-love. Man, I haven't worked out since I was in high school, which was a long time ago. But it was something I needed to do. You know what I mean? I had to make some changes in my life. With everything going on in my health, I figured, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I'm gonna get in shape, or I'm gonna be fit. I ain't trying to like gain muscle, or what do the kids say? I'm not trying to get swole.
Right.
I just want to distribute some of my problem areas to other areas, and I'll be happy. That's all. That's all. It's got to happen.
But something, that's part of recovery, wellness.
You got to take care of yourself, right? In one way, shape, or form. And it might not be working out. That might not be for you, right? But there's other ways that you can do it. Just going for a walk once a day. Even just having peaceful alone time.
Right.
Reading a book, going to the beach, whatever it is. Like, man, it's so important, like, to have that time, because we get so caught up. It's so easy to get caught up in our everyday lives. You know it, because I see you all the time. All the time, you're in it. You know what I mean? You always got your phone in one hand, other phone.
Two of them right here. Two of them, homeboy.
Yeah, you're like the recovery. You're like the recovery Kevin Gates. You know what I mean? You got two phones. Yeah. One for clients and one for Mary. You know what I mean? Like that's how it is. Like,
right.
So it's easy it's easy to neglect ourselves.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we're so busy. Because me and you are on that same wavelength, right? Outreach, doing things in the community, all these different things. We're trying to create this movement, right, of recovery and out loud and breaking the stigma, all these different things, right? But it's so easy for us to not take care of ourselves when we're doing it, because we're so passionate about the things that we're doing in our life that it's easy to just go, I can rest later. You know what I mean? I'll eat later on. You know what I mean? And just little things like that start to add up. So
that's why I'm working on balance. Too much of anything. I like the I'm about to tell my age. I like Nice and Smooth song. All my young folks, Nice and Smooth was a rap group. That
Yeah.
was back in the 90s.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
but
I
they
know
said
about Nice and Smooth now.
right, but they said anything too much of anything can make you an addict. That's what they
Right.
say now.
Yeah. That's the word on the street.
Right, and too much work. We can get so addicted to working. We can get so addicted to social media. We can get so addicted to shopping.
Yep.
And so, because as people in recovery, we are so trying to, do, and trying to show. And then we sit there and end up in the hospital or end up, having a nervous breakdown because everything is just overwhelming. And you have to have some type of balance. And, early on in my recovery, that was the hardest thing for me because I was trying to distance myself from my past. And, and overwhelming myself with so much stuff and trying to start this organization, trying to get it up and running and doing all this craziness. And yeah, it was really a toll on me. It was a
Yeah,
toll.
it does. And like, oh, before you hold on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it all right at a fingertip away.
Right.
Yeah. They don't know nothing about that, Rob. They don't
y'all know about that Nice and Smooth.
They know nothing about that. But man, it's so easy, right? Because when we were out there, right? When we were out there doing dirt or whatever it was, boy, there was nothing that got in our way. There was nothing that we cared about except for that next high or whatever the hustle we were doing or whatever it was, right? That's all we cared about. We didn't see anything else. We neglected our friends, our family, our health, our breath, our everything. We're not bathing. You know what I mean? Like we're
Right.
not taking care of ourselves. And we get in recovery, and all of a sudden, we're told and we learn you got to be 100%. You got to do all this stuff, right? So then you become all recovery, and that's fine at first, right? I mean, it's fine, right? You have to dive into it, right? But at a certain point, you've got to find that balance, that sweet spot, to where you have your recovery, you have your work, and then you have your personal time. Like I said, all three have to combine, right? They have to align together so you can really live a healthy life, right? Because that's really what it is. And even if in your personal time you're not working out or anything, you don't have to do any of that stuff, right? You can sit on the couch and watch Netflix for the whole weekend and eat nothing but ice cream, right?
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do, fine. But you have to have that. You know what I mean? Because you might be working 60, 70 hours a week. So you need that weekend to kind of balance yourself back out, right? So, and you're right. You hit the nail on the head. That balance is key. And it's tough to find sometimes, you know what I mean? Because there's so much that we want to do, especially when it comes to recovery, right? Like, because for me, I love everything that I do in recovery, right? And I wish that there was more time in the day, because for me, add 2 more hours to the day, right? And I'm good with everything going on in my life. Just give me 2 more hours. That's all I need. But that's unhealthy, right? And it's not realistic because we're not going to get 2 more hours, right? So it's just a matter of finding that balance.
That's why, that's why I think recovery capital is so important, because, the more capital you build, it will help you balance, because you get more things. You get that nice career. You get, now you don't have to grind 50, 60 hours, because now you're in a good paying, a good wage career that you can do 40 hours.
Right. And still pay your bills.
And you can have enough time or have enough money to do something, like I always say, we are as people in recovery, we are in the best state.
Yeah.
So because we can go to Orlando, we can go to all the theme parks if we want to. If you ain't got, you can show up there and just feel the atmosphere, versus somebody else that's in a whole nother state that, if you want to enjoy, and our weather is nice, 360 days out the year, 365 is kind of manageable.
Yeah.
So But without that recovery capital and building that and getting that into your life, then we forever gonna be grinding.
Yeah,
always chasing.
And you know what, even like before, so even if we're not in full-blown addiction, right? You get taught at a young age that you have to hustle, you know what I mean? You have to grind, whatever your job is, give it 110%, right? And it consumes us, right? It just because I've seen it in people's lives that have never been in addiction, right? But the addiction that they do have is their work, right? Or their relationship, or so many different things, right? It's toxic. Like if you spend every waking moment doing that one thing and nothing else, it's going to drive you crazy, right? It's going to put you're going to eventually have a breaking point, and something's got to give, right? It's unhealthy and toxic to live your life like that. Like, I don't even really know what else to say other than that, because I know for me, I'm one of those 120% guys, right? I'm giving 120% to anything I do. And I have to back that down. You know what I mean? Because I don't need to give 120% anymore. I just don't, because that I'll use that 120% as an excuse later on down the road. When I finally get fed up or tired, right? I'm like, oh, well, it's because I did all this. That's why I feel this way now. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't ever want to be like that, right? So now I have to find that balance for me. I have to find that balance between work and family and recovery and doing something nice for myself. Like, for me, that's these, that's my thing is, getting some ink therapy. But if you don't make that balance, right, and you haven't been working on recovery capital, and you go, well, how do I do that? You know what I mean? How do I get to the point where I can have balance in my life? Like, it's a valid question, right? It's hard for all of us.
Yeah.
For me,
what's up, Chris and Jillian? Let me give a shout out to them. What's up, Chris and Jillian? I see you in the background. Got my good eye on you. You know how I am. But go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, it's for me, it's one thing, right? For me, it's one way of balancing things, and for you, it's something totally different, right? We're not all going to be the same, but it's got to be found, right? You just can't be all in all the time. You've got to be able to be all in the moment when you need to be all in, and then when you need to be all in on yourself and some personal time, you got to take it. Like, it's inevitable. You get burnout, resentments get created. Man, I don't want to be in that situation anymore. I did it enough through my life, like burnt myself out, working 70, 80-hour weeks. You know what I mean? Like, not spending time with my family, and then I look back and go, well, I don't know why I relapsed. I really don't. Like, I don't know. How did that happen? You know what I mean? Like, it was pretty evident. But
relapse is not an option.
It's not an option. Hell no. Sorry about that. It is not an option. Like, we would, like, again, like we were talking about earlier, in that group, about consequences because of our behaviors, right? Man, I got too much to lose, man. And I don't even have that much. But what I have means the world to me. You know what I mean? What I have, I'm willing to go to war to keep. Like, there's nothing that you can put in front of me that I'm not gonna put up a fight for. You know what I mean?
And that's what I did money video on, was making decisions. You make good decisions, you have good consequences. You make bad decisions, you got bad consequences. And we're forever making decisions, even if you're not physically saying or telling somebody, I decided to do this. Within us, we are making a decision. And I know for me, I only can talk about Robert, but for me, I'm always weighing, I'm always talking to myself, having that self-talk, having decision. No, you're not doing that. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do this now. You're gonna keep on moving.
And that's so true, because you make decisions all day long, right? And subconsciously, some of the decisions that you're making are what you portray on the outside, right? So I'm just going, Mary, don't get mad at me, right? But let's say you and Mary are kind of on different sides of whatever, right? Of a decision, or where to eat dinner, right?
Mhm.
You can make you subconsciously make a decision. Either you're going to be mad or you're not going to be mad, and you're
Right.
you're going to do the smart thing and go where Mary wants to go, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
subconsciously, you got to make that decision just like that quick, right?
Mhm.
And that goes with a lot of things throughout our day. Getting up in
Right.
the morning, oh, I don't want to go to work today. Wrong decision. You're already setting a tone for something so bad that it's not even bad. Like, it's your job, right? It's your responsibility to go to work. But if you get up and you make the decision to be positive, right? So, oh shoot, I'm up, time to have my coffee, get ready to go. It's going to be a great day. You set the tone. Your decisions become easier based on those subconscious things that you choose. You choose to have coffee or not. That could be a bad decision for some people, not having their coffee in the morning. But it's the decisions that you make internally, and that's where we really have to build recovery capital for. You know what I mean? Because again, it's recovery capital. That's not all external stuff, right?
It's internal.
That's what comes the longer that you're working and you're doing your recovery. That's what it starts to become later on down the line, right? But in the beginning, that recovery capital has to be the ability to make good decisions on the fly, right? That could change your life in an instant.
Yeah. And
am I
so
gonna
true.
hang out with that person? Nope, not gonna hang out with that person because I know what they're about.
And so true is we all one decision away from having a successful life. And it's so true. And we're one decision away from destroying our life. And that's how you got to look at it is, all day all day our brains are really trying to figure out, trying to process stuff, trying to catch stuff, our brains is firing, firing, them neurons is going. It is going 24/7. And so that's why being balanced is so important, because you can make good decisions when you're balanced. Right. Sometimes I get myself in a pickle when I'm stressed. I ain't making good decisions. I'm reacting instead of being proactive. And I can feel it, and so sometimes it's just good to step away. Sometimes just step back. Get grounded.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get grounded and really understand that, everything is a decision. Jillian says, I find balance, whatever keeps me at peace. If I feel I need another meeting, then I go. If I feel I need to relax, then I do, without guilt. My balance brings me peace between my work, recovery, friends, and family. Always trust your gut feeling on what you feel you need at that time. That's so true. That little voice inside of us is that's your best friend. Sometimes there's two voices inside of me. Some I got to kill the negative self-talk, and then I got that old positive. It's like the evil and the good.
Yeah. You know what? I always had that same philosophy, right? That I knew that I had an angel or a demon, depending on what day it was, right? But I don't have to do that. And I feel like now, because of what like Jillian was saying, like I don't have to do all that stuff that stresses me out anymore, right? I don't have to, finding my balance. I know when what I need to do for me, right? I know when work is stressing me out. If I'm at work, I know if I need to walk outside and take 5 minutes, you know what I mean? Because if not, I'm gonna end up snapping on somebody probably, or making a really bad decision. But I can feel that now. And that's the flip side to it, is that feeling, right?
Right.
That gut feeling, or whatever it is, right? Even if it's not a gut feeling, if it's something you feel in your heart, right? You have to be able to understand that, right? And hear it or pay attention to it. Because when I was out there, I was so numb to everything that I made bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. And if I would have taken maybe 5 minutes to get out of my own head, I could have made a decision that would have changed my life sooner rather than later. Right.
And sometimes we need to get our own way.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we need to get our own way, because I always say the fight is with us.
The right. I am my worst enemy, right? When it comes to that. Like, absolutely. Yes. I will self-sabotage myself for no reason, right? Just because, like, things are going too good. That's the old me, right? Things are going too good. Time to mess some stuff up. And it doesn't take but that one wrong choice. And I'm back to square one again, back to nothing, back to begging for forgiveness. You know what I mean? Like, all these different things. Like, I can't think like that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't do it. Like, I'm not, and it's not even an age thing, right? Because you would think, because of my age, they're like, oh, I'm too old for this. Because listen, I'm 45, but I don't feel 45. That's a number. You know what I mean? I feel great. Well, I'm a little sore after this week, but other than that, I feel great. You know what I mean? Like, I get up at 4 o'clock every morning. I go to work. Right. I got energy. I feel great, right? But I can change everything. Even at 45, I can change the way that I think. I can make decisions now that I wasn't able to do in my teens and in my 20s and 30s. You know what I mean? I didn't have the coping skills and the support network and all these different things in my life to help keep me grounded enough to make those decisions.
Right. And so I want to add to that, it's never too late. If you watching this right now, or if you watching this later on and you think that, you know, I'm behind, I'm late, I should have, coulda, woulda, it ain't too late. You can start today. You can start right now. You can go ahead and get in this thing. You can go ahead and make that one decision and say, I'm done. And then start getting some people around you and wrap them people around you, and go ahead and move on and watch how things will catch up with you, you know. And for so long, you know, we all, however long you've been in your addiction, however long that you have been doing this, you know, I see this a lot. People get into recovery and say, I'm behind. I waste a lot of years. No, you didn't.
Nope.
No. No. Don't even stop that negative self-talk.
Well, and you know what's funny that you're saying that, because I was just thinking about that, right? And we've had this conversation before about, from the time you used until the time you stop using, it's almost like your brain kind of shuts down, right? And you stop growing, right? Because you're stunting your mental growth, your character growth, all these things, because you're numbing it all down with substances. Right. So once you clear your mind and get in recovery, you start growing again. You start learning, you start maturing, you start learning things about yourself that you never, if not never, you totally, completely forgot about yourself, right? Because it's all in, a lot of that stuff's in you. You just have, it's been so, you pushed it so far down that you literally have to projectile vomit it, all that negative out, to find the real you, right? Like, you have to, and it's possible. Like, man, I didn't want to be in recovery at 45. You know, I wanted to be in recovery in my 20s so I could have, you know, done something different. But I didn't. You know what I mean? I didn't. My path was different than that. I had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations and just negative stuff that that was all self-inflicted, right? I had to do that to get to where I'm at today without all that stuff.
But it's so different now. There's people are more embracing recovery more than ever. People are so fired up, fired up for recovery. Nice. Fire. That's a service announcement. Fired up for recovery. But there's so much energy and so many people out there that's really doing a lot for recovery, that it's different, man. Is the atmosphere is different. You know, it's just that people can be successful in this. if you really, really, really try.
Right.
That's
And I
something
say,
you got to do.
yeah, it's just making a willingness effort, right? If you have the little bit of willingness to live a different life, it's possible. You know what I mean? And you just have to be willing to grind in the right way.
You said the key word willingness.
Yeah.
You have to shed this old guy off or girl,
Yeah.
and you have to embrace the new person, and you have to stop fighting against the grain, and you have to say, okay, this is who I'm gonna be.
Yep.
This is, I know what that life was about. I know what that caused. That caused destruction, and that caused me to lose everything.
Yeah.
Let me try this because I hear of the good things about recovery, but let me try it. Let me see what I can do, and watch the people embrace you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Watch the people embrace you, and really, it's something. If there's a difference, even from last year to this year, there's a difference. There's a atmosphere that is magical about recovery, and that's why we're doing so fired up for recovery, because we get more people fired up about this, because that's going to help somebody else that's in the addiction. That's going to help somebody else to say, hey, I want to get fired up about something.
Sure.
I want to get fired up about what that addiction did to me, and I want to get back to somebody else, and I want to get that person fired up, and I want to get this next person fired up, and then we keep getting people fired up. We got a massive forest fire.
Yeah, absolutely. You got people burning down for recovery.
Right.
And that's what it is. It's not by chance that our little slogan is fired up, right? It's not by chance, because
we're gonna patent that. Don't be trying to steal it.
Right, because that's what we are. We're passionate, and all that means is we're really passionate about what we're doing in recovery. And if we could just get more people on board, the more people that it spreads. It's contagious. Positivity and passion is contagious.
I was talking with someone before this, and me and this person had a long conversation. It's good conversation, and we was talking about voting, and we get more people to vote. And I said, our people got to get out and vote. Our people in recovery got to get out and vote, because something. Or if we don't get out and vote and don't get these people in office for our issues, then we're never gonna get any help. Stuff gonna get blocked and stopped and along the way. And me and this person had a good thing, and then we came to the aha moment, and the person said, "Yes, why is that when we get into recovery, we don't do that?"
Right.
I said, something is sometimes we don't think that is a big issue. That's a part of recovery. That's part of your recovery.
Sure.
Because now you're dealing with life issues. Before, in the addiction, you ain't had no care about that. Who cares who was the governor? Who cares who was the president? Who cares who was, your state legislators? Who cares that? Now it's so important, because there's 5 bills down there right now for recovery. Something to do with helping somebody in addiction or substance use, or putting certified peers out there. But a lot of people don't know.
Right.
But if you don't, and that's it, you got to open your mind, and you got to open your mind, because these things help your recovery. We got to stop saying, man, I love meetings, I love that, really, but we have to really say, look, it's about everything else going on around you.
Yeah,
stop,
absolutely.
Stop. If you go to this meeting and go home, you're in a tunnel,
right?
And you ain't getting nothing else around you. But then issues and stuff is happening around you that is affecting your recovery.
Yeah, but you don't see that.
Recovery. You don't see that because you got people telling you wrong stuff. Right. It's more about than going to meetings. Meetings are fine.
Yeah,
they're good fellowship, but you got to get yourself plugged into what is going on around you. If like you got these politicians, these sheriffs, and whatever that's not doing right by the people that you left from, that's your responsibility as a person in recovery to get involved.
Right. Absolutely.
That's advocacy. That's your number one thing at people in recovery is advocacy.
Well, and how in the hell?
I'm fired up, man.
Here's my question. How the hell you get in recovery, right? Or say that you're in recovery.
Yes.
Because you go to meetings on a regular basis. But you ain't, you just sit, then you go home from your meeting and you just sit there watching Netflix, right? You're not doing anything else. You're not trying to get yourself plugged in the community and help other people who are still out there struggling. You could care less about what's going on down by Interfaith with all the homeless people who are still in active addiction and living right out there on the road.
Right.
About the people who can't get into detoxes.
Right.
About the people who can't get treatment because they can't afford it. Right.
Right.
The people that are dying every single day, but you go to meetings. So good for you.
And I was driving down, trying to find a UPS store, kind of drop a package off. So I'm driving. This young lady was zoned out. And I'm sitting there looking. I was like, luckily there was traffic behind me. I was getting ready to pull my car over and jump out and do some outreach and saying, look, hey, let me give you a card or whatever. Those are our people.
Right.
And if it don't get you fired up about what's going on to our people, it should spark, because that was you about a couple months ago.
Right.
And somebody went out there and saved you. And it's your responsibility as a person in recovery to go back and grab somebody.
And if you keep just going to meetings, it could be you tomorrow.
Right.
That's simple.
It's getting involved in a lot of things around you, because there's a lot of people that's in these positions that don't have no touch to what is going on.
Right.
They don't have no touch to it, and they sit there calling the shots for your life.
Right.
And then you gotta fight for what is right. I'm sick of people dying. I'm sick of it. And it's one voice. We have to recover out loud and say, look, this is tiresome. I'm sick of it. Harm reduction need to be in place. We need this. We need diversion programs in place. We need all this stuff, because it is humane how our people are dying.
Yeah,
it is
absolutely.
Humane. It is not right.
Well, and it's funny, not to get political, right? But so let's just think about some of the things that are happening in our world right now, right? Some of the stuff that they're saying is going on in Ukraine, right? About genocides and things like that. I'm sorry, but this opiate epidemic, it's a problem. Like,
yes,
it is a type of, and I don't even really like to use that word, but man, it's killing so many people, and those numbers are doing nothing but increasing. And if the 1.7 million by 2028 or 29, right?
Yeah, if that don't bother you,
that's a problem.
That whoever watching that could be you.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to be part of that 1.7.
They are projecting by 2029, 1 point something million people are going to die from an overdose. That's us. That's us as people in recovery. That's us, because you could be that in that number, but if you don't have the measures in place, and that's why it's more than what we are doing, because what we're doing is not working.
Right. And let me say this just popped in my head.
Hey Lee, I see you, brother.
Yeah, we're on here. We both, you run 0 Hour Life Center. I facilitate meetings and work with you guys, right? You don't have to come and help us at 0 Hour Life Center. Get involved anywhere.
Anywhere.
With any recovery organization, any group that's out doing outreach and advocacy to help fight people or help stand up for rights for people who are in recovery or for people that are still out there fighting in addiction. Like, it doesn't have to be with us. It does. Right. It doesn't. You don't have to agree with us either. If you have a different view on some of the things we're saying, that's okay. We love you. We love you too, right? But you have to be able to be willing to get involved. It's not cut and dry anymore, right? It's not just, the only thing I can do is go to a meeting and that's it, and do the 12 steps and that's it. It's right now, with the technology that we have, the ability for us to be right here live streaming to whoever, right, is amazing. There's no reason that there shouldn't be more going on in the recovery community than what's going on. It's crazy.
And a little bit about my story, why I got involved in this, because I saw something that wasn't right in my life. And I said, okay, I'm in an adverse situation. If this is happening to me, then how many other people is this happening to? I said, man, let's change the narrative of how people getting out of jail and getting their life on track. And that's how Zero Life Center came about. It's one person, and that's how everything come about. When someone say this is not right, how many people are affected by this? We are not saying that about this opiate epidemic. We're not saying this. People are dying, and we just ran the thing in the big book that the same man keep going across the street 20 times and he get hit. He keep doing the sanity, but that's what in the book said. That's what alcoholics do. No. How about somebody grab that guy and say stop?
Right.
Don't you go across the street. Now come stand with me and we're going to stop the other people from going across the street. Yeah. We have to stop fighting against each other in recovery, break these silos in recovery, and stand as a united front in recovery, and things will start to change.
Yeah.
But no, we're so backbiting on everybody and this, that, from the world. There's so much stigma in recovery. It's driving me crazy.
We do it to ourselves.
We do it to ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do it to ourselves. And then the people on the outside looking at us talking about they just unmanageable. They're just criminals. They're just this, they're just that. And we're not changing the narrative.
Yep.
And it's so I see it around town. I see it around people, the homeless people. I see those people, they stand out there on that corner and they stand out there on daily. And they stand there for one cause and get that money for whatever they got to do. And half of them is not in addiction.
Right.
They're standing there because the resources not helping them, but they stand out there. And I sit there and I wonder, I say, our people that's so grateful for everything, and we do grateful a lot, but we won't get out there and stand up there and say, we need harm reduction. We need this. We need that. We need this. And then when it's time to go in there and do things, we have to pull you out. And then one come out, and that's it. And so it's like, really?
Yeah.
And then people are calling the shots, and you have no clue. And then you see the newspaper, and then look at the comments. I was sitting looking at these. They're going an article about harm reduction. They just sitting there going in and putting this rhetoric out about harm reduction. And I'm looking at the comments like, what in the world? People are like, yeah, you're enabling. Stop it. It's not enabling. They don't know what they're talking about. It's not enabling. It is, your harm reduction is a seatbelt you put on in your car, the car seat that your baby sit in, the condom that you use, if you do, that's harm reduction. That is harm reduction. And
absolutely.
But we as people in recovery are not out there educating. How do you expect someone to help you if they have not walked in your shoes?
Right. They cannot.
That's why peer-to-peer is so magical, because you have a person that walked in your shoes that can help you, and it's so magical. People, it's dynamic. It helps.
Absolutely.
And it gets people to long-term recovery. But it's more than that. Recovery is about advocacy.
Right.
It's about advocacy.
And who can advocate better for recovery
than us?
Than someone in recovery.
People with the AIDS epidemic, the AIDS did it. They came out there and they advocated and they got rights for AIDS. And now, man, people with HIV, they are living. Right. I just saw on the news the other day that they almost got a cure for it.
Well, I can't tell you the last time I've even heard anything about HIV and AIDS, to be honest with you, like, because of all the things that they've done, right? That community, they did like you said, arm in arm. We're going to stand up for what's right, for what we need to help us get better or live a better life, and it works in so many different facets, right? You could talk about unions and companies when employees go on strike, right? And to get better wages. It all is the same thing. It doesn't matter if you're 0 hour. It doesn't matter if you're NA, AA, CPTA,
Right.
NBA, NFL, whatever. Whatever.
But you know something,
We have to work together.
Phil, I saw a lot of after the Super Bowl the performance. Oh, we got Eminem, we got Mary J. Blige. That's people in recovery. I said, look, I'm looking at this stuff going around. I said, I'm proud of that. Yeah, we had a representation of people in recovery up there. But okay,
they ain't talking about it.
Level. They ain't talking about it. We need to get on a local level. There's a lot of people in recovery. You got to start coming out.
Right.
This is a service announcement. You need to start recovering out loud, because you don't have to be ashamed about something that's saving your life. No, you don't have to be ashamed about. Okay, there's a lot of people are so ashamed to say I'm in recovery. Why? Why are you ashamed for something that's saving your life? But in the addiction, people was talking about you and looking at you saying you dried up and you almost killed your life, you almost died. But you're in recovery, you're so timid and taboo about recovery. Yep. It got to stop. We can't be that way anymore.
No, not at all. I mean, listen, I'll talk to people about recovery in Publix. I don't care. I don't even know these people, right? Like, they'll say, how are you doing today? I'm like, oh, it's a great day in recovery, right? You know what I mean? Like, they're like, what? Wait, what? Like, I don't care, right? I am fired up for my recovery. I'm fired up for my
service
life.
Announcement, fired up for recovery.
Thank you very much. Shameless plug. But that's real. You know what I mean? Like, I love everything, every facet of my life right now. And it's because of recovery. It's because of the community that I've found that's embraced me and held me when I first got there and helped teach me about myself and helped love on me until I could figure out how to do it myself, to love on myself for who I am. Right. But so now, how the hell can I sit down now, right, and not advocate for what saved my life? Man, we've been for a year and a half doing an outreach meeting with me, you, and Mary, and every once in a while somebody else would pop on. Right now, we got like 8 people. Right. So we're doing something. Right. Yeah. We're doing something right. And those 8 people are phenomenal. But just imagine how that could spread. Imagine if we get to 30, 50 to 100, the difference that we can make. Right. And it doesn't have to be anything so over the top. It just has to be, you have to be willing to accept what's going on in your life and be proud to be in recovery because it saved your life, and be willing to be vulnerable and share your story and your situation with other people, right? And let people know that they aren't even in recovery. Man, this is what recovery's done for me in my life. Like, everybody thinks that it's all about how, what happened in addiction. No, that's not it. It's what's happening in your recovery. That's the story.
But Southern Phil, the good book said, love your neighbors as yourself. Absolutely. Love your neighbor as yourself. That means is that you need to get out there and start loving on your neighbor. And what I mean your neighbor is your family, your peer that's still out there in the addiction, and go out there and love on them and get them and say, okay, and then advocate for those calls. And we got a couple comments right here.
Yeah, I seen them.
Jillian said, I think our people don't reach out and advocate enough because they are so used to sitting in the shadows. They don't know how to take the next step into doing their recovery for more than themselves. They don't realize they have a voice now. They are in recovery. We have to step our self-worth up within each other. That is true. And Michelle, hey, shout out to Picking Up the Pieces. I see you out there picking up the pieces.
Hey, I want to say something real quick about what Jillian said.
Okay.
She's right. She is right. But that doesn't have to be the narrative anymore, because there's platforms that don't do that, right?
You can start your own platform.
We don't, create your own. We don't do that at 0 Hour. No, you know what I mean? Like, we encourage you to get out of the shadows when you're ready, right? And we try to, I know, at least for me on my groups, when I facilitate, like, I'm loud and proud about mine, like, and I want people to see that. and help build them confidence to be able to do the same thing, because everybody's different. But there's other things out there that's all they do. I don't want to sit in a meeting and talk about war stories and stay in my past.
Yeah.
Right. If you stay in that type of situation, you're never going to be able to step out of the past.
We got let me pause right there. We got to start telling the war stories.
Absolutely.
It ain't helping anybody. Stop telling the war story. You can fight me, you can beat me down. Stop it. We got to start telling the goodness of what recovery is doing, and that's going to help somebody. Because if you keep saying the same old, I stole, I did this, and this is this, how that's going to help anybody? Because a lot of folks don't know. I had Julie say, nobody know how to start. A lot of folks don't know what recovery is about, because when a newcomer comes, we always tell them about, man, I remember when I did this and that,
absolutely,
and this, and you were not saying, hey, this what happened to me today in recovery. This what, man, my supervisor at the job, he loves me because now I'm just this new person, and I'm so brightful, and I have a glow every time I come to work, and that makes people, that makes the people that's wondering how this thing is understand it. And we're not doing anybody no justice. When I first got recovery, there was nobody sitting there telling me how recovery was until I got on these platforms, Faces and Voices, Facing Addiction back in the days, and all these other million platforms across the United States, and started seeing these people recover out loud. And I said, this is cool. This is how it's supposed to be. This is what I want to do. And next thing you know, I started doing my little videos. Check them out from 2017. I was timid. I had the baby face. I was timid, and I was recovering out loud. I didn't know what I was doing. But that's where the first step started, and it empowered me. And I said, if they can do it, then I can do it.
Right.
And man,
I just have to say, because I see Alex said the rearview mirror is small for a reason. And it just made me think of an analogy that a peer shared, that why would you stay focused on that little rear view mirror, right? Looking behind you when you got this great, big, beautiful windshield looking out in front of you.
Right.
Why stay stuck looking in that little mirror when you can look out that beautiful windshield in front of you? Because that's really what's out there, right? Everything that's in that rear view mirror is behind you. It's behind you.
Right.
There's no reason to stay stuck in that.
Let me read Michelle say, more of our business community has to be involved. Convenience stores, people are using and dying in your bathrooms, but you refuse to carry Narcan. Why? We have to work together. I got on my car #got Narcan on the car. I got thank you Floridians for Recovery. I was at a symposium in Tallahassee, and Mary won that. And I got it on my car. I know people looking at it like, some don't even, seriously, I was thinking about that today, and somebody looked at the sign on my car, and I said, I wonder if you know what Narcan is, or you just looking at it because it's jumping out at you. And I said, I'm sitting there, and then I'm sitting there, I'm thinking to myself like, he maybe don't know what Narcan is. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people in recovery don't know. Let's call a spade a spade. A lot of people don't know, and some of the people that's facilitating. Never mind. Go ahead. The river of Alex said, busting them Ferganos got to take them off and get the work boots on. Right. I was getting ready to say that it doesn't. As people that have enough recovery capital in our lives, and we got things, what success is or what legacy is helping somebody else, and then helping your community. This have to be a recovery, got to be in everything. We got to get that thing out the four walls and get recovery out in the communities. We have been keeping recovery so tight in these four walls, and I love the churches that say church without walls. They out in the community. I love that. I love that, boy. Man, Billy Graham and them boys, they had a crusade going on back in the 60s and 70s. And man, there a lot of people coming to Jesus then. And we got to come out these walls. Recovery without walls. Oh, that's a new one. Hashtag recovery without walls.
Hashtag.
I like it.
You
Recovery
know
without
what's
walls.
funny? What's funny?
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry to interrupt you, but like I'm just sitting here thinking about it, like as you're talking about it, and for years, everything recovery has been based around anonymity,
Right. Right.
right?
We can't do that no more.
Can't talk. Oh, can't say anything outside of these walls about what's going on, right?
Mm-mm.
And I get it. I can't. I'm not going to tell your story because it's not my story to tell, but I can tell mine. I can't be quiet about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't know who needs to hear it and who doesn't. So I'm going to tell it to everybody that's willing to listen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to worry about what Joe on the corner thinks about me because I'm in recovery. Like I'm not going to do that. Like I don't care what he thinks about me because I'm going to say it loud and proud every single time. And maybe he might learn a little something, right? About
But
what's
that's
going on.
But history, I'm a history buff. History always teaches us that's how things change, man. It's
Yeah.
getting out there and being loud and proud about what matters to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's everything in this United States, and everything in history has changed because people said this got to stop.
Yep.
We got to have measures in place. This has to stop. Man, we have to do this. We have to do that. And things started happening. And that's all we're saying is that, man, there's a lot of great people out there fighting. I applaud you for getting out there, but they need to be more.
Hey,
these people
Rob,
are getting tired. Go ahead, brother.
We're talking about movements, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's been walks in Selma, Alabama.
Right.
There's been walks in Washington, D.C.
Right.
Million Man marches.
Yes.
LGBTQ marches in Washington, D.C.
Right.
Have you ever heard of a recovery walk?
I heard of them, but not.
Like, I'm talking major.
I'm talking about massive one like down in DC. They flood. Yeah,
get up in there.
March for Recovery. Nah, I haven't seen that, and we need to have a day down there. We need to have a full-fledged people coming out the woodworks, and somebody that correct me and hit me up later on in this week to fact check me. But I haven't seen it in my lifetime.
Yeah,
maybe correct me on it. I don't know everything. Okay,
but that's why I'm asking.
That's why I'm asking too. Go ahead.
Because that, I mean, I don't know if I know me and you alone, right? We can talk a good game, and we can do a recovery walk.
Yeah.
We're gonna need some power to get that type of walk going, right?
But it's possible.
But it is possible.
But it's possible.
And the conversation starts now, right?
Right.
The conversation starts now because it's gonna take a movement, right? It has to start somewhere, even if it's just little old you and me on this Facebook Live talking about it. It starts somewhere. A seed gets planted, and once that seed gets planted, as long as you keep watering it, it's gonna grow. It's gonna continue to grow, and eventually it's gonna be a beautiful tree or a beautiful recovery walk on Washington, D.C.
Right. And something, that's how it always starts.
17 kids from Parkland can organize that massive.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes, 17 kids from Parkland did organize that event, a massive event down in DC. And man, shout out to Parkland. It was a couple of days ago, the anniversary. Shout out to those to that school in Florida. But those kids got up there, and because they said, we sick of this.
Yeah,
we are sick of people coming in our school shooting. We are sick of this. And man, they did what they had to do. Seniors.
Yeah.
That young generation. And there's some young generation out there too that's in recovery. And we need y'all, youngest, and we need the young generation that, get fired up about this. And we need our old folks to get fired up about this. I'm part of that old generation too. That's me. And we need to get fired up about this because something is that Reddit got to stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
It got to stop because it's only killing people. And we got to stop saying that people are just doing this for choices and they're just criminals and they're just animals and we need to lock them up and throw away the key. That's not helping anybody. Yeah. And we need to go out there and we need to say, hey, we need this, we need that. And there's a lot of great people that's doing stuff, but they need help.
Yeah.
They need help. You see, you know, I get emails that recovery projects advocating for stuff and all that. And I'm passing this stuff down because that's my job to tell you all this stuff.
Right.
And I'm so glad that I sit on this wall to let you know, because somebody ain't telling you. And that would piss me off when I first started doing this, is no one was telling me this stuff.
Right. Absolutely.
Hiding it for themselves. We got to stop that, man. Stop hiding all this good stuff to yourself.
And some of them, they're not even hiding it for themselves. They're just totally disregarding it. You know what I mean? They're getting what little bit they want to get out of it. And then anything that doesn't pertain to them, they're just disregarding, right? And that's unsafe practices when it comes to recovery, right? I don't care if it relates to me or not. Like if it's recovery based and I think it can help somebody, I'm talking about it, right?
Right.
You have to talk about it. Like if I don't let you know of something that I might hear of or see, I'm not doing justice for myself and my recovery, right? Because who knows if I bring something up to some random person, right, who might be a doctor or something, and I start talking to him about recovery, and he might have some information for me that could help save somebody else's life, right? Mm-hmm. And I have to share. It's a continuous cycle of sharing information, right? Instead of holding it to yourself, and so you're the only one that knows about it, you know, share it to whoever wants to hear it. Mm-hmm. Somebody might need it.
We got a couple comments. No, Alex said, destigmatize it. Alan say, no shame in owning history is pretty devastating when you have the power to change it and choose not to. Alex says again, I've seen the memorial walks. Appreciate that, Alex. Alex said, I like to see celebration walks. I like to see it too, brother. Alex say, trust me, you have allies out there. I know there's some great people out there. There's some allies out there, but there need to be more. Michelle say, they are human beings. Yes, they are human beings. Alex said, Alex would like to join the outreach meeting. Oh, Alex on fire. Boy, you need to come on here, Alex. Who Alex? I like Alex. Alex said, no one was born a prostitute, an addict, or anything else. They are humans. Everyone still has the human in them. The day I forgot it is the day I leave my job. Alex Tremaine. North Carolina. Oh, that's my buddy. What? Alex. Oh, man. That's my homeboy, Alex. Yes.
He said, this is my passion.
Yes, Alex. That's my boy. See, North Carolina, and that's what we do. We're getting fired up about recovery. North Carolina. Shout out to North Carolina. Man, they fired up there. Don't, man, Lee Styles and Alex and Heather Perkins, they're fired up there. And that's where it starts.
Hey,
that's where it starts.
Hey, what's that one guy say? North Carolina raise up. Go ahead and wave that shirt around your head like a helicopter.
And boy, he had a movement going on in North Carolina. They swinging shirts around. Everybody trying to raise up. And that's how it need to be, man. We need to get fired up, because me and Alex was having a great conversation earlier about this, man. And man, he's doing everything he has to do, but he needs support. If you're watching this and this touch the airways in North Carolina, they need support.
Right.
They need support. Man, all these communities need support. Man, we got to go in and stop. Man, we sit at a table and have all these good decisions and ideas, but there's no truth to action.
Right.
That don't make a bag of beans if we all sit there and say, I could do this, I could do that. But you got to put truth to action.
Yeah.
Plant those seeds.
Don't just talk about it, be about it.
Because you know something, have you had a conversation with a law enforcement and they sitting there, man, I swear, man, I sit down with our chief and he said, man, look, man, we're doing everything we can do, Rob, but we need some help, man. You know, man, we need some help. And we do. They do need some help. And really, it's people in recovery and it's our first responders is man, because man, our first responders are really, really, really doing what they got to do to try to save our people's lives. We got to support them. We got to support them.
Because I have firefighters and paramedics come in my place of business every day, just about, if not every day, every other day. And I talk to them all the time, and they say it's really sad because they might have to go and use Narcan on somebody, right? And they take them to the hospital, but after the hospital just kicks them out.
Yeah.
Right. Once they're back, once their vitals are good, they can right back on the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On the street. Like they just almost died from a drug overdose. And you're just letting them walk back out that door because they don't have insurance or whatever. Like, come on, man.
But you know something, we're not doing that to other diseases.
Right.
You know, if I go and I have a disease other than substance use disorder, they're going to make sure my discharge plan is set in stone. They're going to make sure, okay, they may get me to the next level. If I have to go to another thing, they're going to get me there. And, you know, we have to stop doing that, man. The gaps in service are really hurting our people. The gaps in service are really hurting our people. And we all got to work together. Stop, man. Well, why? It doesn't make Zero Hour Life Center anything probable if I don't connect with picking up the pieces, or I don't connect with any other agency in Ocala or the five counties, or if it doesn't make me. That's why we reach out. That's why we want to help, because when someone comes to me and they say, hey, I need housing, I need to get you to that next person. I need jobs. I need to get you to the next person, because the gaps is what's killing our people. Yeah, absolutely. The gaps of services, you know, and man, go up, man. Them hospitals are really, really, really working their tail up. They were not designed. They were not designed for this. No. They had to change their whole model. Yeah. And every hospital is getting bombarded by our people overdosing, our people going in there and those ER doctors. And man, I had a great time in Tallahassee with the ER doctor. I got his card. I sit there and talked with him, and he stood up there and was talking about why that Senate Bill 282 and House Bill 795 needs to be law in the state of Florida, because he said we had 8 overdoses one night, and the certified peer is in there working his butt off. I wish I had another certified peer like that. And we need more certified peers. We need more people. We need more people. We need our people to get in action. Right. And that's like that brings it kind of full circle, right? To where if they don't have the resources there, what's next, right? Because like I know, because I'm a convicted felon, right? I'm a convicted felon that I have so many hoops to jump through just to be able to try to get into the field that I want to be in, right? On that level, right? If I want to get to that level to where I can be in a hospital and helping those people that are coming in, I have to jump through so many hoops just to even get noticed, right? Because I have to check that felon box. Right. And that's part of the move, that bill, you know what I mean? Like, at least here in Florida, of getting that taken care of, to where, because unfortunately, the people that are wanting these jobs are most likely someone that's been through addiction, right? Like that's the best person really to fill that job anyways. And let me jump on these comments, because Alex is a first responder, and you all hearing it from a first responder. And man, they are doing great work. And really, man, our first responders are really responding. They got other calls that they got to go to now on the massive overdoses in each community, putting so much weight on our first responder. Tomorrow, you see a first responder, you go and shake their hand and you say, hey, thank you. Right. You tell a first responder, thank you, because those people are on the front line. And they get it, and they're trying to help our people and just save lives. And like Alice said, providers are becoming desensitized, pre-hospitals or hospitals. They are just frustrated as us because of the gaps. They are. They are. And people are, and good first responders are hanging up the boots. Yeah, absolutely. Because they're sick of the gaps in service, and they're sick of our people getting Narcan and getting back on the street, and they see them again. Yeah, the next day. Yeah, because they don't have it's so sad, right? It's so sad because people are out there doing everything they can to save a life, right? And because of those gaps in service, they're having to do it on a continuous basis. Eventually, the reality is they might not be able to save them the next time.
right? That's the reality. And to continuously have to go through that process, right? And that's what, like I said, when I talk to these guys, when they come in the shop, like it's, you can see it in their face that it's overwhelming, the amount of overdose calls they get here in Marion County, right? And that's the only guy I can talk to because that's where they're at, right? It's overwhelming. Like, and something, and a couple of them even said to me, something has to change, right? Because there's treatment centers here, there's facilities here, but to get those people from that hospital, from where they just got Narcan and brought back to life, to get them from there to that treatment center is miles and miles away. Like, it's not even close. It's not even a close gap. You know what I mean? It's not. If it was just maybe if we could keep them here a couple days in the hospital and then release them to the Addy Rawls, or you know what I mean? Nope, that gap is so far away that these people that are being Narcan, like, they feel like there's no hope, right? Right. So that's why they keep going back out there and do the same thing over and over.
Something about Medicaid expense will help.
Yeah.
Medicaid expense will help because somebody that don't have insurance, it's hard for that person to get the help. And really, and those are the ones that fall through the gaps, and then next you know, they're dead. Yeah. And if we could have just said, hey, Medicaid expansion, let's go ahead and do Medicaid and get everybody, insurance where they can go and get the help, because we're standing up a lot of recovery community organizations. We're standing them up.
Yeah.
They out there.
Well, I don't know if what Alex is just saying is like, man, that comment he said, why keep giving Narcan if it ain't going to change anything? Because it's what we do. Humanity gaps can be temporarily filled with love. And that's 100% accurate. It's 100% accurate. But like he said, the next comment, I'm one person, one vehicle, 12 hours, 9 overdoses in one shift, in his last shift.
And that's a slow day.
And that's a slow day. And that's a slow day. Really, people.
That's heartbreaking.
Yes.
Heartbreaking.
Yes.
That this just one person in one select area that he covers. Right.
So you imagine that's one first responder. Yeah. And you think about the 50 states, how many counties in each state. That's a lot.
What did Jenny say at that last thing? It was like 275 people die from overdose a day nationwide.
Right. 275 people, 275,000.
No, 275
people die every day.
Nationwide
from overdose. I'm gonna fact check that, but I think that's what Jenny said.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, she pretty said that.
275.
273. Don't quote me on it, but it's 2 something. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yes, but that is a big, and it is a shame. It is a shame. And something, by us doing this, having this dialogue and really getting outside the 4 walls and getting outside of the normality of, I'm going to speak freely.
Right. Me too.
I'm going to speak freely because something is, I got some people still out there.
Sure.
I got people still out there. I'm a person in recovery. I have not lost touch to substance use disorder. I have not lost touch to none of it. I still got people out there. And man, something, it breaks my heart to see those mothers and those fathers, and they sit there crying because, and they want answers.
Right.
They want answers because what is they, lining that I saw a post the other day, and it was on I can't think of the platform, but it was on Facebook, and I can't think of the group, but this wife said, she showed a picture of her husband laying in the casket, and she said, I wasn't going to post this. She said, but I think it may help somebody, or it may let somebody know the reality of drug dealers are killing you. And she had her husband laying there with his ball cap on. And my next comment was, I'm proud of you. It took courage to do that. I want to give you a platform so you can let your voice be heard.
Right.
Because you got something that you want to say, because you You got questions that you need to be answered. If you're watching this right now, you got a platform right here. You can get up here any day. Anybody can get up here and let your voice be heard, because we got to let our voice be heard about stuff what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's all part of it. Like, you never know who is going to hear what you're saying and really need it.
Right.
You know what I mean? You never know. That's why it's so important to recover out loud. That's why it's so important to be vocal about the things that are happening in our communities, the things that are happening, like Alex sharing about first responders, the things they're going through and they're seeing out there on the front line. This stuff has to be heard, right? Because you never know who is listening and needs to hear it.
Right.
Right. Because anybody can be an ally, right?
Yes.
And that's what we need. We need more allies, not just in the recovery community, because we're a select group, right? And of course there's a lot of us, but there's, like you said, there's moms, dads, uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters, employers, husbands, wives that have all been affected, that have something to say. Right. And it's super important that their voice be heard too, right?
Yes.
Because it's not just us. This disease, it might affect somebody individually in the physical sense, right? It affects everything about me. But man, does it touch every single person that's close to me in my circle. It touches them, right? And they develop traumas as well because of my disease, right?
Right.
So they go through their own type of recovery.
Yeah.
Which is super important for people to hear, right? Because that's a whole nother level of support and recovery. Right. That can help another mother. Like my mom could help another mother that son is doing the same thing that I'm doing.
Yes.
But she also has to be willing to be vocal about what she's been through with me. Right. Yeah. It goes, it could just go, it just builds on top of builds. And I know it's coming. It's coming.
But you know something, Phil, I thought about Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. Boy, when that movement got started, hold your horses. We need that type of we need that type of movement.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need that type of movement. We need that type of movement, and we can collaborate with Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. We can collaborate, and we can go, because alcohol is a drug too, and we can collaborate, and we can really. And moms, come on out. You got a platform right here. You can get on here and you can say say what you want to say. If you understand it, but your voice need to be heard. Loved ones, your voice need to be heard. If you have lost someone, your voice need to be heard. It's two people in recovery, but we need to hear from some family members. Because family members are going through it too.
Sure.
You're going through recovery. You're going through the addiction with us. You are going through everything with us. And when we lose our life to substance use disorder, you are there.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
And wives, husbands, whoever, you can get on here and have a platform and talk. And this is what we're doing. This is an anti-stigma campaign, really.
Yeah.
Okay. We are saying, look, as people in recovery, this is our platform. We're going to stand up there and we're going to sit there and we're going to use this. We're going to use the airways and we're going to sit and talk about the issues that we see that needs to be changed and to help our people sustain recovery.
Sure.
That's what I like about this. You're going to get a mixture of everything on here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to talk about all of it.
Yes, we are. Something, but look, I'm gonna end with this. Alex said, I would love nothing more to never have to tell a family that their child, brother, mother, dad, whoever will never be here again. It strikes nerves in me, and then and them like not feeling good enough that day. That's coming from a first responder, y'all. That's coming from a first responder. And that's what a lot of our first responders are dealing with. Our police officers, law enforcement.
And what kind of support are they getting?
And what kind of support they're getting. What kind of support our first responders getting, our law enforcement, our ER doctors, our trauma doctors, our hospitals. they are really on the front lines of this opiate epidemic, and they are out there doing great work. Our law enforcement, our police officers, sheriffs, our state troopers, all those folks, you know, we need to really, really, really tomorrow make it your purpose to shake somebody's hand. They're gonna say, why are you shaking my hand? You say, fired up for recovery.
Yeah.
I was on this live and I saw these two guys that was fired up about recovery, and they gave a shout out to the first responders. All right. Jeff say I couldn't find the death rate overdose for 2021, but it was 2020, it was 252 overdoses a day. Thank you, Jeff. The butterfly effect, somebody said, who's that? Alex.
When you guys were talking about how it affects all of the
How we, yes,
yeah,
right, you know? Right. It is a ripple effect. It's just like somebody said, just like throwing a rock in the water, and that ring is getting affected by addiction, by overdoses. It all's getting affected.
Yeah.
And you know something is, that's why our neighborhoods got so much crime.
Yeah.
You know, that's why, man, we got to stop sitting there and really, really, and start thinking logical, and start thinking human, you know, start thinking about life, because I want somebody to be so passionate about me, how I'm so passionate about those people that's still out there.
And you know, it's funny. I mean, you saw my Facebook post the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or yesterday. And I wasn't going to post it. I wasn't going to post anything about it, right? Because I didn't think about what I thought was, that's for me, right? Little old me, no big deal, right? 2 years, right? I got responses from people that I haven't talked to in a long time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Telling me, good job, keep it up, you know? And the reason why I even shared it wasn't to get all that, but it was more for who might be on my friends list that's still out there or struggling, and can sit there and go, holy crap, that guy's got 2 years? How the hell did Phil get 2 years? Right. You know what I mean? And that it is possible. And you saw what I put on there. You know, it's all, I've had a phenomenal opportunity to be able to build recovery capital, and I've created this phenomenal support network around me that I lean on for anything and everything that might be bothering me. You know what I mean? And it's possible. It's possible because I was willing to put in the work. And, you know, Steve Harvey had a video I talked to you about, and he said, you got to get dirty for this thing. If you want any type of success in your life, you got to be willing to get down and dirty to get it. Right. And that's what we have to be right now. We have to be down and dirty and loud and proud about what we are doing in our lives in recovery, because that's the only way people are going to break those chains, get out of the shadows.
You know, so Phil, every time you say loud and proud, I keep hearing the other thing. I'm black and I'm proud, but it's just every time you say that,
I'll be that too.
But that was a movement.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know? So here's some food for thought.
Okay, food for thought.
You guys are starting the movement right now in this moment.
Right.
These last, seriously.
Yeah, it is a movement.
You're starting
absolutely. I agree. I just don't know if we're ready for that on outreach yet, Mary.
We're
look bigger than outreach.
Look, but look, I want to say this too, is that this is a movement. Mary is correct. This is a movement. Like I said, and you know,
Alex says I'm human, I'm proud.
Alex said I'm human and proud. There you go, brother. Alex is a brother from another mother. He used to be that. But look, and we got some t-shirts coming for Fired Up for Recovery. And we're not charging for those. If you just want to do whatever, I'm not asking for anything. I want this thing to be a movement. I want us to be, that's why I've been hashtagging Fired Up for Recovery. If you post anything about recovery, put hashtag Fired Up for Recovery, and because then it can get out to people. You know, and really, you know, my goal is to have about 50 people on here on this live, and we just sitting them going in Fired Up for Recovery. everything. And if you want to be blessed and want to donate or whatever, man, that stuff going back to recovery. It ain't going to my pockets. It's going back to recovery. But I'm not asking for that. But we're gonna have the t-shirts, and we're gonna have, I want to get some little bracelets. I want to make this thing a September. I love recovery month. We need to have 12 months of it.
Yeah.
We need to have 12 months of it. And how we have 12 months of it, our people get out there and do something in your community every month.
Yep.
Every month, do something in your community and say, hey, if it's something, man, there's some great people out there doing some good things in their community. And look, if you are that person doing great things, I want to see it. Post it on our page. I want to see it. I want to see what you're doing, because then that's somebody else that may touch somebody else that's in there, and they will see. Chris said, y'all got me fired up for recovery with the live page. I appreciate you, Chris. I see you, man. Look, get more, boy, bring a cousin, bring an uncle, bring an aunt, bring your mama, bring your daddy, bring your kiddos. Look, fired up for recovery every Friday night, 8 o'clock. We're going to be fired up all during the week. We fired up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Alex said, I'm all about opening eyes literally at my own risk in the middle of the night, banging on doors. Though Robert was gonna trip, but he stayed strong. Hey, boy, I sure did. I said, boy, Alex got me going. I said, Alex got me going, but I was standing right there. And two, I was going back in places where I used to buy drugs. And it was so real to go back into places where you used to buy drugs and could stand up there and say, hey, we're offering a recovery. That's what it's about.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
And
that's funny, because I had somebody text me or message me today that, let's just say, was an important part in my addiction, right? And they were like, I just wanted you to know I'm really proud of you. I never thought you were like everyone else. I knew there was something different about you, and I'm really proud of you. And I was like, huh. I mean, I was floored. You know what I mean? Like, to hear that, like you were saying, back in places where you might have been copping or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was, it's humbling, you know what I mean? It's humbling to see where you were and who you were at that time to where we are now, you know what I mean? And I'm so blessed to be a part of this, and with you guys. I'm fired, man. I want to throw another F in there. I'm so fired up for recovery.
Rated R, Philip. We got.
I know that's why I didn't say it, but
PG.
That's it. Could be 13, PG 13.
Right.
But
look, hey,
it didn't come out. It didn't come out.
Right. But look, I appreciate you, Philip, every Friday coming on and getting fired up with me. Shout out to Onslow County, North Carolina. Check it out. That's what Camp Lejeune at, y'all. Shout out to those folks up there doing good work up there. And man, shout out to my first responders down here. I see you. Help is on the way. And really, 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 we got to stand as a united front. All key factors in this. People in recovery, first responders, law enforcement, everybody that's touching our people, we got to stand as a united front and really, really, really say, hey, things have to change. Laws need to be changed. Help need to come to our people. Okay. We need to mend the bridge the gaps in services. All right. Chris said that information that I was to get for you to reach the kids in the school is to reach out to the safe schools. I appreciate that, brother. Our kiddos too. We got a generation behind us that's coming behind us, and they already doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Kids supposed to be having fun. Kids supposed to be going out there and being kids, not dealing with this. And that's what it's about. We got kids dying too.
Yeah. Listen, when I was coming home down my street, I saw these 3 teenagers. And they were like, you could just tell they were doing something they weren't supposed to, sneaking off into the woods. There ain't no house back there. You know what I mean? Like, and I was just like, man, I want to get out of that car and go like, man, what are y'all doing? y'all better not be doing nothing dumb over here, you know, because they couldn't have been more than 13, 14, my son's age.
Right.
I was like, man, like, I hope they're not doing what I think they're doing. But man, my son was telling me some stuff, you know, about that he hears about in schools, you know, about these kids.
They know.
Kids these days, they're off the chain. You know what I mean? They're off the chain.
Yeah. And man, let our kids live. Let our kids have a life. And how they can have a life is by us getting out there and really advocating for our kiddos too.
Yeah.
You know, they need to let us back in these schools and start talking to these kids. You know, everybody ain't crazy. Everybody ain't doing. There's some good folks that want to get in there and start telling their story and tell them the good stuff. You know,
absolutely.
Tell them the good stuff. So look, it's 9:37.
We've been on a long time.
We've been on here a long time. This was the extended version for Fired Up for Recovery tonight.
Just because we were late.
Because we were late. So we didn't want to cheat nobody, but you want to give you the full-fledged hour. But next week we're gonna be Fired Up for Recovery. Hey, if you want to get in on this, reach out to your boy. You know how to reach me on all these platforms, so you can get a hold of me. And you know, I would love to get, me and Coach Phil was talking about, we want to get a woman point of view on here with us.
Yeah.
Because you know something, our women are really, really, really having a struggle in recovery. There's some great women out there that's doing recovery. Shout out, power to the women. But there's a lot of women out there that really love to hear a voice of the women. And you know, if you are a woman out there that want to get involved in this, but you got to bring your fired up, you got to bring your passion, you got to really roll with us.
Yeah, right. You already know who I want on here.
Right. But you know, they gotta come out this, but hey, look, everybody ain't fired up like us, Phil.
I know.
I got the torch.
Like that spark. Hold on, I got one.
I got that. Yeah, I got it. Y'all know about them old meth torches that we had.
This is just a big lighter. This ain't one of them.
Y'all know about the meth torches that we had, and we sitting up there trying to get that thing. Yeah. Okay. I'm the only one. God, Lord.
No, you ain't the only one.
All right, then.
Hey, I had like 20 of them, like at all times.
Right. You know that old crack lighter with the light go up. Yeah. But look, hey, I'm gonna call it a night. Hey, look, Fired Up for Recovery next week. Thank y'all. Hey, I appreciate y'all, and we're gonna be out.
Yeah, thank you to everybody that was on.
All right, thank y'all for coming on. Appreciate y'all. Share it, like it, share it.
Love it.
Love it. All right.
And get fired up, dang it.
Yeah, get fired up. All right, bye.